Have you ever met someone who seemed nice at first, but something inside you whispered, "Be careful"? That whisper is your intuition trying to protect you long before your mind catches up. Today, I'll show you how it works. What if I told you that the small, uncomfortable whisper you ignore is the very thing that could have kept you safe? Listen closely. This is urgent. In a world that rewards charm, performance, and polished masks, we are taught to trust resumes, compliments, and reason. But there is a quieter intelligence within you, older than thought, that reads tone, breath, and energy before words even land. Intuition protects you from toxic people before you notice is not a headline. It's a hidden law of survival and awakening. Imagine walking into a meeting and feeling a subtle tightness behind your sternum, meeting a new lover and sensing a shadow under their praise, laughing with a friend while a small alarm rings in your belly. These are not coincidences. They are signals from an inner compass, ancient and wise, tuned to danger long before logic files a report. Stay with me and you'll unlock a life-changing key. Not just how to recognize those whispers, but how to strengthen them so you stop giving away your energy to drains and predators. I'll teach you gentle practices to amplify that inner voice, so you notice the red flags when they're still mere ripples, not tsunamis. If this calls to you, subscribe, like, or leave a heart below, and say aloud with me, "I choose to awaken my consciousness." There are hidden techniques and enigmas ahead that most never learn. For now, ask yourself, what tiny sensation have you been dismissing, and what might it be trying to save you from? What intuition really is. Intuition is an ancient compass hidden in your body's quiet signals. It arrives before words, a low, precise knowing that collects 1,000 tiny facts your mind hasn't had the time or the courage to assemble. Imagine a subtle instrument beneath your ribs, tuned to frequency, rhythm, and the invisible language between beings. It reads tone, breath, hesitation, eye flickers, and the small contractures of muscle that betray truth before speech can dress it up. You are the protagonist in this sensing. When someone smiles too quickly, when their praise feels like a net, or when a conversation leaves a peculiar hollowness in your chest, that is your inner sensor whispering. The subconscious is not mystical vapor, it is a sophisticated data keeper. Micro-expressions, scent memory, the cadence of a confession, the timing of a compliment, all woven into a felt sense that says either safe or lean away. Modern neuroscience now gently nods at what sages knew. The brain predicts, the body remembers, and the first messenger is feeling, not reasoning. Here's the twist that quiets many seekers. Intuition does not always point outward. Sometimes its alarm is about a tender wound inside you, a past humiliation, an unmet need, a boundary never learned. In those moments, you may mistake self-protection for external judgment, or label a person toxic when the real teacher is your own unresolved fear. This reframing is a gift. It gives you portable power. When your gut stirs, pause. Is it a map to escape or a mirror showing where you still bleed? Intuition's language is metaphor, sensation, and timing. It might manifest as a physical tightening in your throat, a sudden chill, a repetitive dream, or a restless ache that fades when you create distance. These are not random, they are signals. The more you dignify them, note them, speak to them, ask clarifying questions internally, the clearer their cartography becomes. Trusting this inner compass does not mean ignoring reason. It means letting feeling guide the investigation before logic writes the final report. Practice listening like tending a secret garden. Quiet observation, small experiments, and compassionate curiosity. Notice how your body reacts when someone cancels, laughs at your pain, or insists on intimacy before trust. Record these moments in a simple book of felt truths. Over time, patterns emerge. The same flicker, the same ache, the same small whisper that saved you once and will again. Close your eyes for a breath and feel the last time your body warned you. What did it say, and how did you respond? Early red flags detected by intuition. Your body recognizes betrayal before your mind can name it. There is a quiet intelligence beneath thought, an ancient radar that reads tone, subtle rhythm, and the invisible weight someone lays across the room. You know this already because you have felt it. A tiny tightening at the base of your skull, a coolness spreading under your ribs, a repetitive whisper in the belly that won't be silenced. These are not random sensations. They are messages from a sensing system tuned to energy long before logic builds a narrative. Imagine standing in a crowded cafe. Someone smiles at you in a way that glitters too brightly. You find yourself smiling back, but your palms grow damp, your throat thickens, and a small, insistent thought rises. Keep your keys in your bag. That thought is not paranoia. It is an inner guardian, scanning micro-expressions, breath patterns, and an almost inaudible dissonance in posture. The mind is still scripting reasons why this person is harmless. Intuition has already cataloged thousands of micro-signals and whispered caution. These early red flags wear many faces. The guts-looped whisper that repeats like a scratched record, an unexplained fatigue after a single conversation, the strange urge to leave a room even when everything appears pleasant. Sometimes it's emotional whiplash, a sudden drop from ease to dread when a compliment turns into control. Other times it is a subtle slowing of your time perception, as if your inner compass is asking you to pause and collect data your eyes can't see. Here's the twist. Intuition's voice is not always dramatic. Often it is a low, persistent thread, a rhythm you can learn to follow. But the tricky part is that our early wounds can mimic those same signals. A past betrayal might prime your body to flare at shadows, so the message requires translation, not blind obedience. Discernment, not dismissal, is the sacred work. Feelings are data. They must be read with care. When you learn to translate, you begin to notice patterns. You'll see how certain phrases, gestures, or even a tone of voice consistently produce the same internal weather. You learn the grammar of your own nervous system. Tight jaw equals boundary violation. Fluttering belly equals something misaligned. Sudden chill between the shoulder blades equals a pierced trust. These are your clues to act, to step back, to ask a simple question, to place a hand over your heart and breathe. The world will teach you to trust proof and persuasion. Your soul will teach you to trust sensation and rhythm. Which will you heed when they disagree? When the room sings with smiles, and your body keeps the score, will you honor that ledger? Allow it to guide small, decisive moves, or will you drown its whispers in explanations that make you stay? Notice the next small tightening you encounter. What does it want you to protect? And who are you when you answer its call? Why toxic people fool the mind but not intuition? The mind can be seduced, the body rarely lies. You've met them. The one who arrives like a sunrise. Warm words, attentive eyes, flattery that fits your wounds, and suddenly, your rational mind writes them a beautiful story. Charm is a craft. It knows which buttons to press, your longing for belonging, your need to be seen, the narratives you tell about who you are and who you should be. Logic loves stories because they tidy chaos into cause and effect. A flattering explanation feels tidy. A plausible motive soothes doubt. So your thinking self fastens a ribbon around a person and calls them safe before the deeper system has finished its quiet work. Intuition, however, inhabits a different language. It reads vibration, pattern, micro-timing, the tiny mismatches between what someone says and the way their energy lands in your body. Think of it as a long-hidden translator between the world and your inner landscape. While your mind listens to words and rehearses answers, your nervous system listens to cadence, to breath patterns, to micro-expressions that the intellect either misses or rationalizes away. Neuroscience whispers that your brain is constantly predicting and matching sensory input. Intuition is simply the ancient part that senses the mismatch and rings an alarm before the conscious narrative assembles. Here's the twist. Toxic people are experts at hijacking your mind precisely because they mirror the stories you already want to believe. They wear the clothes of your desires and echo your language, so your mind applauds, but they cannot perfectly mirror the deeper frequency of authenticity because that frequency is generated from consistent inner alignment, a clarity of boundaries, empathy, and unselfishness. That clarity registers in your chest, in your gut, in the quiet behind the eyes. It is not an idea, it is a felt presence. When someone's presence vibrates slightly off-key, your subtle self notices the dissonance before your reasoning constructs the excuse. Another unexpected turn. Sometimes intuition doesn't roar, it whispers with attraction. You may feel inexplicably drawn to someone who later proves harmful. Attraction is not necessarily the same as approval. The pull can be a signal that something in you is invited to heal, or that a mirror is being held up to a wounded part. Intuition's job is not to give you a moral verdict instantly. It is to point out resonance and dissonance, so you can act with clarity. The danger comes when the mind interprets attraction as safety and forgets to check the body's ledger. Manipulation thrives on cognitive overload, confusion, flattery, contradictions, which keeps the mind busy and exhausted while the nervous system keeps score. Gaslighting rewrites the story. Charm distracts from pattern. Urgency compresses decision-making. Your inner compass, though, keeps a quieter record, how you breathe around this person, whether you feel expanded or depleted, whether your voice softens or tightens. That record is cumulative and difficult to fake over time. So listen inward. Learn to translate the signals that arise before the mind builds its case. Notice where your body speaks in gestures, heat, tightness, or lightness. Ask yourself when someone's presence leaves you lighter and when it leaves you smaller. How often has your body's quiet truth been proven right later, despite the mind's confident explanations? You made it this far, and that matters. Not everyone stays. Not everyone listens when a quiet voice asks for courage. By staying with this message, you answered a deeper call. You honored the whisper that has been guiding you all along. That simple act, to pause, to witness, to let this truth touch you, marks you as someone waking up, someone who will no longer be led into draining places by charm or fear. You are chosen by nothing external and everything internal. Chosen by your own sensitivity, by the fierce tenderness in your nervous system that recognizes poison before the mind can name it. This is not coincidence or luck. It is initiation. Each time you trusted an ember of knowing, you strengthened the channel that protects you. Each time you pulled away from a relationship that dulled your light, you practiced a new kind of devotion to yourself. If this landed in your bones, let it breathe. Drop a yes in the comments if you felt that inner nudge while watching. Share one short sentence about the last time your intuition saved you, or name a truth you want to explore next. We will gather there and listen. You are not a solitary seeker adrift on some lonely path. You belong to a living circle of people who are learning to hold boundary and brightness together. This channel is a place to return, a hearth where your stories of awakening are met with care and clarity. Remember, protecting your energy is an act of spiritual worship. When you step away from what's toxic, you are not rejecting people at random. You are reclaiming the sacred space inside you where creativity, clarity, and compassion flourish. Imagine that space as a small altar in your body. Keep it clean, tend it daily, and honor the messages that come like offerings. The world will try to convince you that logic alone will keep you safe. Your soul knows otherwise. Trust the signals that arrive as sensations, images, or subtle refusals. They are the language of a wisdom that has been with you long before words. If you want to deepen this work, stay curious. Ask the quiet questions. What does my body say about this person? Where does my attention go when I am around them? What does silence reveal? Share those simple discoveries with this community. It will help others learn to listen too. Thank you for allowing this message into your life. You are part of a tribe that values inner truth over outer approval, that chooses resonance over routine. Keep tending your inner compass. Keep honoring the whispers. Keep showing up for the small acts of courage that change everything. Keep shining your light. Remain present, breathe, and absorb this energy in gratitude.